With the NFL season in full swing, that means it's time for the best time of the year, fantasy football season. My name's Mike, and I'm here with fellow fantasy enthusiasts Emily and Rocco. And this week, guys, I kind of wanted to just start the year talking about a few different players who have surprised us, either in a really good way or a really bad way. So we'll start it off with The Rock here. What do you got for us, man?
You got it right, Mike. This season, to a very surprisingly bad player in Josh Jacobs. I mean, this guy has only surpassed 10 points once in Week 3 when he's still getting the exact same opportunity and share that he had last year when he was the best, or not, number 2 running back in the NFL for fantasy. Shout out to Ravens Walter Picks for these stats. These are 69% of carries he's still getting while running 52% of routes and still getting 32% target share even with Davante Adams on his team. He's still doing all that he can, and he still just can't produce.
I mean, Josh Jacobs, for me, is a very weird player because last year, obviously, we saw his dominance, right? I mean, he had to have been a top, 5 running back, I want to say off the top of my head. But here's the thing about Jacobs, and we saw this with the running back landscape of the NFL this past summer, where a lot of these guys, I mean, you look at Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs himself, to name a few, are holding out, looking for contracts, and in doing so, are missing the entire offseason program with their respective teams. So is it unreasonable to think that Josh Jacobs' beginning of the season lack of production is due to this holdout and his lack of reps with a new quarterback, some new pieces on that offensive line? I mean, what's there to say about that?
Yeah, I definitely think with the lack of reps and the lack of experience that he's had in the summer, like in the offseason, that it would be expected for it to be like this. I think that as the season goes on and he gets more reps, he gets more used to being with the quarterback, like he kind of gets his feet in, like everything that's going on. I think by the end of the season, he'll definitely like break out and he'll show us what we want to see from him.
Yeah. Although he's a perfect, at this point, because he will blow up. I know he will.
Yeah.
This is the perfect buy low candidate if you need a running back. Josh Jacobs is that guy. He's a dog. He will get you these points. Just let him break out. But if you're a fantasy football player, go grab this guy right now. He will earn you the points.
I mean, the Raiders' passing offense this year has been a lot more impressive than their run game. I will say that. So are we concerned that, Jimmy Garoppolo, I know we got the injury concerns this past week. Are we concerned that the passing game is going to take away a little bit from the run game and what Josh Jacobs can do?
I mean, at the end of the day, if Jimmy G is out for however much time, they will need the backup to step up in that way, which he will probably just keep throwing about like 20 targets to Davante Adams like they do right now. But then that means if you have a backup quarterback coming in who can't do as well as Jimmy G, you got to feed Josh Jacobs. He's your offense. He's going to be your offense from the get-go when he's out, when Jimmy Garoppolo's out. This is the guy that you need to be your bell cow, your star player that you will have to pay because he is a top 7 running back in the NFL.
So you're saying he's going to get the contract?
I think eventually he will. He's just got to prove it. But again, last year he was phenomenal. What more can you talk about? Last year he was just so good. That's why he's so disappointing this year. It's just very upsetting to see this downfall of Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I think time's just going to tell on that one. Have to see how the rest of the season goes for him.
I agree. Well, I mean, hey, we're talking about a running back, or what should be a running back one. Now let's kind of move over, switch gears to a little bit of a different position. Wide receiver. Here's a wide receiver one. Can we talk about Puka Nacua for a second? Wide receiver on the LA Rams. I mean, the guy has been absolutely phenomenal. 5th-round pick out of BYU. I mean, he's averaging 21.4 full PPR fantasy points per game this season. He's just writing his name in the record book each and every week. I mean, is there any sign of slowing down for Puka Nacua in the future?
I think once Cooper Kupp comes back, most definitely. I mean, this guy, Puka Nacua, is commanding about like 15 to 20 targets a game. But if you look at Tutu Atwell, he's getting work in. Last game, he was getting like 5 goal line reps. He had the goal line rush. He stepped out of bounds. That should have been a touchdown if he didn't step out. He had the receiving touchdown. I mean, once Cooper Kupp comes back, and Tyler Higbee's kind of getting into the offense again. Last game, I'm pretty sure he had about like 5 targets. Once Cooper Kupp is back, Puka Nacua is going to go down. That's why he's a perfect sell high candidate. Get him out of your team because once Cooper Kupp is back, Cooper Kupp will be the dominant player in this Rams offense. Kyren Williams is also going to turn up. And I'm telling you, sell high on Puka Nacua. You will get a great deal back because Puka Nacua is, like you said, averaging about 24?
21.4.
21.4. This is a sell high candidate. Try to get him for Josh Jacobs. Sell him for Josh Jacobs. Do what you can because once Cooper comes back, he will be dominant Cooper Kupp.
Emily, what do we think?
I don't know. I think he might stay high. He's been doing
Okay.
so good so far. Like I feel like he also has that confidence going for him.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
the
definitely
Rams-
going to keep on going for him.
Right, the Rams
definitely.
can support two wide receivers. I mean, we've seen this in the past. We saw Cooper Kupp. I mean, Robert Woods was great in that offense for years. I mean, last season they had Cooper Kupp. Odell Beckham was a flex play at least for when he was healthy. So I think that Puka can continue his dominant streak. I mean, I am a little hesitant to put him in my lineup once Kupp gets back, and we kind of, for the first couple of weeks, we're seeing what they can do together. But, we'll figure it out. So we got a running back, we got a wide receiver. Emily, you got let's see, a different position, maybe a tight end for us on that list?
I do have a tight end. Another surprising player for me, someone who, again, I think let us down, was Dallas Goedert. First game, he had no receptions, no points. Like, he just wasn't scoring, or he got targeted once, no receptions. And then the second game was a little bit better, but he's still not really getting anywhere. He's rostered on 95% of fantasy teams, so I feel like he's definitely letting a lot of people down right now. But I think that he definitely will, come back by the end of the season. So I wouldn't give up on him yet.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the tight end landscape as a whole, as we know, is
It's a very, very fluid or non-fluid position. It could range. I mean, if you look at Sam Laporta, who is a rookie, and he's killing it. I mean, last game he had about 20 in a full PPR. This guy, Sam Laporta, is really good, and he's playing better than Dallas Goedert, who Sam Laporta, his average ADP, I don't think was even in the first 12 rounds.
Look at that, exactly.
And Dallas Goedert was in the first 8. I mean, when you look at the tight end landscape and you have players like T.J. Hawkinson, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, there's not really many people you think outside. So this Dallas Goedert fall off is not something that really I knew, but it doesn't surprise me in a way that I'm like, oh, you need Dallas Goedert because he will turn up. The Eagles are a very run-first offense. They showed it. DeAndre Swift is absolutely tearing up defenses right now. So many rush yards. I mean, this guy's on a tear. So if they keep the run first, then we don't know what Dallas Goedert's going to do. It's another like Kyle Pitts in the Falcons office, run first. You don't know with tight ends.
I agree. Well, I mean, honestly, only time will tell with all three of those guys, and hopefully when we're sitting back up here, we can say nothing but good things about them. But until then, guys, happy week 4 of the fantasy season for those who celebrate, and that's all we got for you today. Thank you.